Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Friday, August 11th, and I'm going to remind you at the get-go, tomorrow there's no video. I'll be back with you on Sunday. We're finishing up our topic of intercessory prayer and how that is an essential part of engaging in the spiritual battle. So today we're going to be talking about an example of that, and that brings us to Acts chapter 12. And this is what it says. About that time, Herod the king laid violent hands on some who belonged to the church. He killed James and the brother of John with the brother of John with the sword. And when he saw that it pleased the Jews, he proceeded to arrest Peter also. This was during the days of unleavened bread. So as you think about this situation, James has just been captured and he's been killed. He's been killed for his faith. And now Peter has been arrested. Many would assume that that's going to be what will happen to Peter, that what happened to James is about to happen to Peter. But God, and here's what happens. The believers intercede on Peter's behalf. So let's see what happens. And when he had seized him, he put him in prison, delivering him over to 4 squads of soldiers to guard him, intending that the Passover to bring him out of the people. So Peter was kept in the prison, but earnest prayer for him was made to God by the church. This earnest prayer could also be called intercessory prayer. They were praying and praying very hard for Peter. Here's what happens next. Now, when Herod was about to bring him out on that very night, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains, and sentries before the doors were guarding the prison. So let's think this through. He's sitting there. He's got a soldier on one side. He's got a soldier on another side. He is bound with chains. There's also 2 soldiers at the door. There's not a chance for escape here. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood next to him, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up, saying, "Get up quickly." And the chains fell off his hands. So I don't want you to miss the fact that you've got believers praying earnestly for Peter, and boom, there's an angel. The angel pokes him in the side, says, "Get up, let's go." The chains fall right off of him. That is a direct result of that prayer. Yes, it was God's will, but those believers had impact. And when you go in your prayer closet, you have that impact too. Let's see what happens next. And the angel said, "Dress yourself and put on your sandals." And he did so. And he said to him, "Wrap your cloak around you and follow me." And he went out and followed him. He did not know what was being done by the angel, that what was being done by the angel was real, but thought he was seeing a vision. So Peter's not even aware that this is truly happening in the physical. He thinks he's seeing a spiritual vision of some sort. When they had passed the first into the second guard, they came to the iron gate leading to the city. It opened for them of its own accord, and they went out and went along one street, and immediately the angel left him. So the angel gets him out of the city and to safety. That gate swings open with no one touching it. It just moves. When Peter came to himself, he said, "Now I am sure that the Lord has sent his angel and rescued me from the hand of Herod and from all that the Jewish people were expecting." So then he goes to the house of Mary, and let's see what happens with that. When he realized this, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose other name was Mark, where they had gathered together and were praying. Remember, they're earnestly praying for Peter's release. And when he knocked on the door of the gateway, a servant girl named Rhoda came to answer. Recognizing Peter's voice, in her joy, she did not open the gate, but ran in and reported that Peter was standing at the great gate. They said to her, "You are out of your mind," but she kept insisting that it was so, and they kept saying, "It is his angel." But Peter continued knocking, and when they opened, they saw him and were amazed. But motioning to them with his hand to be silent, he described to them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, "Tell these things to James and to the brothers." Then he departed and went to another place. I find it very interesting that these believers are earnestly praying for his release, and then when it happens, and the servant girl, Rhoda, goes to tell them that, They tell her she's out of her mind. They don't believe it. But you know what? That's God overcoming our own shortcomings. He is so good and so holy that, you know, even when your prayers are not exactly what like a textbook perfect, he still takes over from there. You know, when you have that salvation prayer and you're entering into that relationship with Christ, we're not eloquent. It doesn't have to sound pretty. It doesn't have to sound fancy. It just has to happen. Every prayer matters. Whether you're stumbling over your words or you sound like you're giving this wonderful speech, every prayer matters. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on Sunday. God bless and keep walking the walk.